doing Dungeon of the Mad Mage after that. Because that's like from 5 to 15 or something. And all of those ones are relatively dungeon based. But I haven't actually looked. I've read the synopsis of the Sunless Citadel, but not the actual.
Let's get some tense music on.
Yeah. I swear, sometimes your music will hit at the right spot of a very dramatic moment. It's like
pure random chance.
Yeah.
But it works out.
And other times it goes to Margaritaville.
Yeah, it has happened a couple times. All right. So, are there any questions so far? Ones that I'm willing to answer. You can ask questions, any question, but I won't answer them.
I'm not sure. Most of my questions are going to be ones that you probably don't. I'm trying to remember. This cave with the big stone door.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the one that was? Let's see, you said South Crypt was set. That was somewhere in the Sword Mountains, right?
Yep. You were
on the southern end of the Sword Mountains or something. I know you've talked about the Crypt Garden Forest a whole bunch with the dragon and stuff.
Yep. Now, how do we look at this map? So you can see the Sword Mountains actually come much bigger. So this is as far as that map goes.
That's true, yeah.
So the garden goes all the way, or the forest goes all the way over here. The Sword Mountains are here, the foothills, and more Sword Mountains all the way here.
Oh.
Right? That's all Sword Mountains as well.
So it could really be anywhere along those.
Right. Now, those hills, those are called the Rat Hills.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you were. That's where you woke up.
So what I don't know, and maybe I won't know.
Well, Westbridge is there.
Right.
And you and Catherine were exploring. You assume.
Right.
Not that far from there, right? Because if you guys could go 4 squares in a day, maybe 3 in the forest, you have an approximation of how far away you are.
Yeah. One of them was like 5 days or whatever.
Right. Which could have put you on this side.
Right.
But not here. Now, the subsequent ones you don't know because it was never really stated. You're about through the mountains a week away from Waterdeep. Mm-hmm. That could have put you in the Sword Mountains here or the Sword Mountains here. Right? No, I guess it would be here. Probably to get there because you had to climb, yeah. So you're either in the Sword Mountains here or almost any of those Sword Mountains.
What I find, one of my questions I have that you probably wouldn't answer necessarily yet is, did he build the laboratory that I woke up in? Is that something that Claudius built?
You don't know.
Right.
Claudius ran there.
Right.
And everything was human height as opposed to gnomish height.
Right. So it was either built by them or they happened to stumble upon a second location.
But there's the question of height.
Right.
Because the other one was clearly everything is gnomish height.
Except for the door. Which was clearly compensating for something.
Well, there was a 20-foot tall mechanical man on the inside too.
Yes.
So it may not have been compensating. Well, it's always compensating if you're a short guy.
Was my leg breaking always going to happen?
Uh-huh.
Was that a choice of me just choosing to go down the tree?
It was always going to happen one way or the other. Because it was going to be that kind of that connection between the vignettes.
Ah.
Right? There's going to be a couple. You're going to have a couple connections between the vignettes. You're going to have her voice, and you have your leg breaking early on. It was going to happen one way or the other.
Let's see.
I mean, I adapted some of the vignettes based on what you did, and then carried some things through, but none of it was It was a railroaded sandbox.
Yeah. I mean, I felt the railroad, but not in like a bad way. Because it felt very much like, even if, like, in that scenario, like, for me to think about it, if this is either a flashback, like somebody else's memories that I just happen to be reliving, it's going to be extremely railroaded and sandboxed by what the person actually did. Or if that is somehow me actually doing that. Like, it felt like it was good that it was very confined. And it also made me feel like, okay, is there something here specifically a question I need to ask? Because I know if I go out the door, that might, trigger the next scene or whatever, but... Yeah, no, it's good. I don't know how I would explain scientific. The concept of science.
So science exists even back then. So because you do have gnomish tinkerers that can build clockworks and other things, and so the concept of experimenting of alchemists, you have there's a whole parallel science based off of magical things that exists. So
what would the science of magic be called?
I just still call it science.
Magicology?
Yeah. I'm not going to try to invent new words for everything.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So all of that exists in parallel. And there are a lot of ancient civilizations that exist, even in the real history of Faerun, that do talk about some of these things. Right? Maybe not this specifically, but... Anything else? You got a good upbeat on the music?
Yeah. All right. I get back to here to my little temporary notes thing. Let me write down. One question I have is, because I had decided just a couple sessions ago that Isaac didn't know what Isaac meant, the acronym, is that something that you were going to introduce at some point as some sort of lore?
It's mostly irrelevant.
Okay. Just a fun little anecdote.
Maybe. I mean, it could be something later, but I mean, it's to the major part of the story. It's
If that is a little nugget you want to drop in a later point, I think it would be fun.
I'll consider that.
Okay.
You're familiar with this? Your eyes are closed.
Let me assume the position.
Your vision is distorted by the thick, translucent liquid that engulfs you. It creates a shimmering, almost dreamlike world where everything appears slightly surreal and fluid. Rays of light refract through the liquid, casting mesmerizing patterns and colors around you. You can see the curved, smooth surface of the tube surrounding you. It feels like you're encased in a protective cocoon, safe from the outside world. The tube itself seems ancient with intricate markings etched on its surface, suggesting an age-old purpose. Beyond the tube, you glimpse the dark and ancient laboratory covered in dust. The dim lighting barely penetrates the dusty air, casting long shadows that dance across the laboratory's aged equipment and forgotten artifacts. Inside the tube, you experience an eerie sensation of weightlessness. The buoyant liquid supports you effortlessly, and you can move within it with surprisingly ease. It's as if gravity has lost its grip, leaving you suspended in a state of calm. The liquid enveloping you feels cool and soothing against your surface. It seems to respond to your movements, creating a sensation that is both tactile and comforting. You can feel the gentle currents within the liquid as you move. Despite the safety of the tube, a feeling of isolation washes over you. The world outside, the ancient laboratory, seems distant and unreachable. You are cocooned in a serene yet eerie solitude, disconnected from the world beyond. There is a faint, metallic tang in the air carried by the liquid surrounding you. It's a subtle reminder of the unusual nature of your surroundings, hinting the enigmatic purpose of the tube. As you float within the giant tube, the juxtaposition of the serene, liquid-filled environment and the dark, ancient laboratory beyond leaves you with a sense of wonder and curiosity. You are part of an enigmatic tableau, a blend of past and present, where the boundaries between reality and surreal blur, inviting you to explore the secrets that lie ahead. You look at your hands. They are the same, but different. They are not human, they are not organic, but they are not unalive. Your hands are a mixture of metals of some type of organics. In your hands is a golden statue. From the silence, you hear an anxious voice yelling for you. A voice that is familiar, not one that you seek. But still, a trusted voice echoes around you. Isaac! Isaac, wake up! Isaac, are you okay? It's Corinne's voice.
And I'm in this tube.
Uh-huh.
I'm here.
Oh! What happened? Suddenly, I was off in my own space, and then something jerked me. Where are we? What's this tube you're in? Can you get out? Are you trapped? Are you okay? You feel a little different.
I am different. Is there light? Can I see much, or is it pretty dark and murky?
Well, there is light, but the liquid is very murky. You can't really see much.
Can I feel around inside the...
There's this tube, and I mean there's some mechanisms and stuff on top, and you can't really bend down, right, because the tube is not that much larger than you are. So you can kind of reach up, but you can't really reach down.
Uh-huh. Can you see me? I'm in some sort of tube.
Well, I can see that you're in a tube. How did you get in it?
I have woken up in here.
Where are we?
I think we are in an ancient laboratory. I think this place is different yet related to where we first woke up all those years ago.
How is that possible?
I do not know yet. Do you think that you can get me out of this?
I can't see any better than you can in there. Can you break the tube? I mean, is there anything above you? I don't know. I've never seen anything like this before.
I will... Is it possible to make a bell sound with a prestidigitation?
Yes. How does that help?
I'll explain later, and I will try to punch the glass.
Dink, dink, dink. Punch it 3 or 4 times. And you hear a faint cracking noise. Punch it some more. The cracking gets louder. And finally, in one punch, it just shatters in front of you. And you fall forward as liquid kind of all rushes out. And you hit the ground in front of the tube. And you can see around you. There's a dim light coming from the ceiling, but your vision is better than it's been in a while. At one end of the room, a massive wooden work table dominates the space. It's covered in a chaotic assembly of intricate mechanical parts, gears, and cogs, each intricately crafted and haphazardly arranged. At the center of this mechanical symphony lies a partially constructed mechanical body. An imposing humanoid automation with exposed brass skeleton and gears that glisten ominously in the low light. The opposite of the room, where you are, 7 towering cylindrical glass tubes, each large enough to hold a body vertically, loom ominously. 3 of the tubes stand shattered. Well, 4 tubes stand shattered now. There are jagged remnants scattered across the floor alongside the unmoving, lifeless bodies and husks that failed to emerge intact. You see other Warforged bodies in the ground.
3 of them?
3 of them. The remaining 3 tubes, however, tell a different tale. Filled with murky, viscous liquid that refracts the ambient light in eerie ways, they house fully formed Warforged bodies. Suspended in a state of eerie stasis, the Warforged figures within are poised in rigid anticipation, their mechanical eyes eerily glowing in the darkened chamber. It's as if they wait for a command that will never come. The room is permeated with a sense of both ambition and tragedy. The heavy scent of aged leather, oil, and industrial remnants hangs in the air. Shadows play upon the walls, casting an air of mystique over the chamber. The metallic echoes of forgotten machinery and the distant hiss of steam create an eerie soundscape that underscores the room's melancholic ambience. What would you like to do, Isaac?
Do I get the sense that this is the old laboratory that...
No. This is somewhere different. Ceilings are only about 15 feet high.
15?
15. The tubes are arranged. There's only 7 in total in the room, whereas each of the rooms you went into before had 10, 12. There is a hallway that leads south of here.
I will go and look over at the table. Is there any...
It looks like a very crude one. It's not like you look at yourself and you realize the body you're in is not the same as the one you used to be in.
It's brand new.
There are no scratches and scars. And it looks... the color's a little different. Your fingers are a little longer. You're a little more slender. It's not the same. The body feels... you have this sudden feeling of... it's you and not you. It's...
You're a pair of shoes.
You're wearing a new pair of shoes that are someone else's. And as you walk by the other ones, you can see the ones on the ground. They're basically in very, very poor condition. All the organic parts are kind of melting a bit. You're basically kind of degraded. And you recognize the 3 on the ground as ones that you saw in tubes. In fact, the tube mechanisms are exactly the same as ones were in the big laboratory.
Like they've been transported here. Perhaps.
That they were there and they're now here, which is a completely different room. And not like any of the rooms of the ancient laboratory. But everything is covered in a layer of dust.
Kieran, do you recognize any of this?
No! I mean, it's kind of not like where we were before. How did we get here?
I'll hold up the golden statue. I wonder if this has something to do with it.
How'd you bring that with you?
I don't know, but I suspect it's bound to me somehow. Which is very interesting.
What are those things on your chest and your arm? And you look down and you realize this body is slightly different. It has two things attached to it that your old one never had.
I don't know.
You feel connected to them somehow. In fact, this is a good point to take a small break so we can do your death changes.
Okay.
Roll me a d6.
Death changes. Okay. 3.
3. So roll 3d6. This would be the positives.
You want the total?
No, I want the numbers.
2, 2, and 4.
So Dex and 4 would be int. Roll me 3 more dice 6, and these are the minuses.
One, 3, 1.
Strength, 1, 1, 3. Con. Right, 1, 1, 3?
Yeah, 2 1s and a 3. What are you doing?
In a different body, and you feel different. You can look at your character sheet now. Refresh. Gained 2 points of dex, 1 point of int. You lost 2 points of strength and 1 point of con.
Oh. Okay.
And you may be attuned to a few new things. A couple new things.
Any damage to the owner will always be stopped by given first. Other magic and spells can diminish the possible damage. So, like, if I cast Shield, that might block it entirely first.
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
Yeah. And your resistance would also take impact of that. So any damage that you would have taken.
Okay.
Up to 100. And then it goes away. Oh, and the other one has half of its charges. The other one only has 5 charges available. Instead of all 10.
Okay, 5 of them then. And these don't recharge?
No. When they're consumed, they're gone.
So each charge is the equivalent of greater invisibility?
Yep.
Holy smokes.
Lasts 1 minute.
Okay.
But each of them have other benefits as long as the charges are now gone.
But for like the rune of shielding, I don't have any way to, other than just not getting hit, I don't have any way to like...
So for example, if someone did some elemental damage, you could use the...
absorb elements or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would take it first, and then whatever's left over, it would take. So it will go away eventually.
Yes. Do I know what these are as Isaac yet?
Yeah, they're inherently attached to you. And when you start looking at the others, you realize all of them have something on them. Now, the ones that are on the ground, there's like some shattered remnants of some kind of runes on them. And you look through the tubes, you realize some of the other ones have different runes on them. Not all of them have the same runes. A detail that you didn't really notice because you didn't look closely enough at the other bodies. In the original Isaac model, didn't have them.
Do these fit into like sockets that...
No, they're kind of attached to the body.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. I'll have to think about that. Kieran, this is not my original body.
No shit! You look different!
I'm pretty sure that I died. And now I am back. Somehow.
What do you mean you're back?
Well, I'm here.
Where is here? How did you do that?
I don't think I did it. I think it happened to me. I don't know yet. But in between then and now, I experienced something very profound.
What was that? You kind of scared me there.
I had flashbacks or some sort of moments where I was living somebody else's life.
You mean like you were a person?
I was a human man. And I kept having these time skips where I would jump forward in time 5 or 10 years. And suddenly I would be in a position that I was unfamiliar with and circumstances of this person's life.
Do you think it was you?
It's very possible.
I mean, we always wondered how you got to that cave. But if that was the case, why did you wake up surrounded by dust? And what was that dead body there?
That dead body was the person that I was. That was my body.
How did you get into where you are? What am I?
That is a great question. Do you remember anything?
No, everything's kind of fragmented before meeting you.
What sort of fragments? Have you always had this form?
I don't know. It's the only form that I can remember. When I say fragments, it's like I remember eating spaghetti. I remember swimming in a lake.
Like you were a person.
Yeah.
Flesh and blood.
I must have been.
I think one of two things has happened. Either I have experienced, or I lived a life before being transferred to this body, and I remembered some of it, or I lived the memories of somebody else.
How is that possible?
This body that I am in is part of some sort of mechanism that involved soul transfers. And the last thing that I did before dying, frankly, was transfer my soul into a body. I think it was my own body in the lab that we woke up in.
But it was so desiccated. It had been dead for... it was mummified.
I think that these bodies are much older than we realized. In the memories that I experienced, I was a human named Claudius, and I had discovered an ancient laboratory that seemed to be perhaps built by gnomes, may have been 10,000 years old in the memory.
That's like back in Elven time. I mean, it's like there's almost no recorded human history that old.
I remember watching my parents be killed by orcs and trolls in this valley, or in, assuming that we are still in the valley. I don't know how long ago that would have occurred, but I suspect I have an idea. I think there may have been a few hundred years or so between that life that was lived that I experienced or re-experienced, and then us waking up in the
But if you transferred your soul or your whatever, why would it take you hundreds of years to wake up?
I don't know.
And if you'd already transferred, that means body would have been already dead, then who took your heart out? Or why would they take your heart out if you'd already be in?
Taking my heart out is what killed me. Or so I suppose. Question for you. We had stuck the sword in the machine that was next to the table where Isaac's body was on. That description is different than what I had wrote in my backstory.
Yeah, we'll just update it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if those were intentionally different or...
It was me modifying your backstory a little bit.
Totally fine.
So I could have a coherent story for the rest of it.
There are a lot of unanswered questions that I have, but...
Well, where's the sword?
I don't know. The sword was a very big part of the life that I lived. It was my life's work.
Then who killed you? And why would they kill you?
I had a falling out with my son.
You had a child.
I had a child. And I suspect that I stole the sword. The sword was a key to make this process work. It was literally like a key that opened the door. But if they killed me, why did they leave the key?
Well, who do you think killed you then? I mean, you think your son showed up and killed you?
No, it was... I think it was Death Guard that killed me. I think...
You said that was hundreds of years ago.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Seems kind of... There's a lot of speculation there.
I remember having my heart ripped out of my chest by men in black clothing. They had chased me to the lab that we woke up in outside Waterdeep. And I was running from them, and I had the key with me, the sword key. And the last thing I did before they broke down the door was I stuck it into the machine to start the process, and then turned around as one of them ripped their hand right through my chest. These bodies and this key were all part of something called the Cradle of Immortality. Something that was speculated to be very old and built by gnomes, potentially. I don't know why they stopped or abandoned their project, but we found it and continued the project that they had started. All of this equipment that you see around us is either based on or was equipment that was found in that original ancient site that we found.
Are we in the ancient site?
This doesn't appear to be
Then no.
the ancient site. This might be a third laboratory.
But you said you saw these same bodies, though, so how did they get here?
They must have been transported by my son. Or by me.
Well, if your son was trying to kill you, he wouldn't have left everything here, would he?
I don't know. I don't know if my son was trying to kill me or if he was just trying to retrieve the sword. Perhaps I stole it from...
Is there a reason your son would hate you?
Unfortunately, yes. It was due to the death of his mother that I was seemingly responsible for, or at least he blamed me. When I say that I lived the life of this person, I remember periods from when he was 5 years old, and it seemed to be like clockwork every 5 years. There was a wonderful girl that loved me. Her name was Catherine. But at some point, she died, and I wasn't there. I was out searching for the sword key. And he blamed me for her not being there, and it strained our relationship. Towards the end, when we had discovered the ancient lab, and we had moved forward with some of the project, there was a disagreement about how to proceed with actual real-life testing of a soul transference. And he wanted to move forward with slaves, and I wanted to be more cautious. And the next thing I remember, I was being pursued through the woods into the lab that we woke up in, and that was when I died.
Sounds like you had a horrible life.
It was full of both beauty and tragedy. Kieran, I wonder if it's not also possible that you were that person.
Me?
The whole time I was experiencing this, I kept calling out for you, wondering where you were and what could have happened to you.
If you're experiencing these, was it like just watching a memory, or did you have some kind of agency?
It was active participation.
So you were changing the memories or acting in the memories?
I don't know. They were like brief flashes of critical moments. And I didn't have any control over when they would occur or the circumstances that I was in. But once I was there, it was me with all of my memories. But I was in the body of this person, from a small child to an old man. I don't know if I ever saw a reflection of myself.
You thought about it in the first vignette, and then you never followed up after that.
Yeah. Does Kieran look like Alexander? Is there any family resemblance?
He doesn't have his form is not doesn't have a lot of clarity to it when he's in the old man form.
I know that he had, in the actual artwork, he had like elf ears, but I don't know if he...
Yeah, no. Well, you don't think you're an elf. You don't know. You're the parents that you saw that the body you were in were human.
Yes.
But then again, you don't know what Kieran is. What are we going to do now? You know, I'm with you wherever you go. I mean, whatever happened to you dragged me to this place. And I saw you just kind of... I knew which body was yours. And you were just floating there.
Did you see the man that killed me the first time?
I wasn't around. You know, I have to rest in my own space sometimes. It takes a lot of mental energy to bring myself out.
Where is that space?
I don't know. I fade into it, and it's just an area of calm that I stay in, and I can recover.
I think I know who my son was.
Who was he?
I think he was an Axtridge.
Axtridge? What makes you say that? Seems kind of odd. What's that connection?
I think the Death Guards... and the name Alexander, which I've heard before.
But then he had been alive for hundreds of years. Humans don't live that long.
But then again, this was called the Cradle of Immortality. How long has this body existed?
Well, not all of them survived. There's a couple left, but how many of these bodies were there?
I remember seeing dozens.
So you think he took one?
It's hard to say.
I mean, it looks like your if this was a transfer for you, it didn't quite succeed very well.
Well, did the transfer require the key? Which I had. I don't know. These are questions I don't have answers to. Do you have any idea what's happened to the others?
I appeared here, and I can't stray very far from you, so I have no idea. I don't know. I don't even know how much time has gone by. I don't know if it's been minutes, hours, weeks, or even years. I mean, If your first awakening took hundreds of years, how long did this awakening take?
I don't know.
And how did you do a transfer from wherever you were to here?
Do not know.
I mean, the key's not here then. If you said it's required.
It seemed to be in my memories, yet here we are. I don't have a lot of answers, more just questions. I remember that I grew up in the little town of Westbridge.
Isn't that one of the towns near where we are in Red Larch?
I think I remember them saying it was just a few days from Red Larch. Again, it was like an entire life flashing before your eyes. But only slices of it.
I mean, does it feel like it was yours?
It didn't at first. But then it had a way of washing over you that sort of drew me in. I remember loving her. I remember holding my son the day he was born and feeling so proud. I remember the pain of breaking my leg to where the bone protruded through the skin. I remember the pain of feeling helpless as my relationship with my son fractured, seemingly out of my control. I don't know if it was my decisions or somebody else's, when it was my life, or these are questions I don't have answers to. The ancient laboratory that we found was deep in a cave somewhere in the Sword Mountains. I'm not sure I could get there from here, but I do remember that detail. And it had these extremely high stone doors, and on the front of those doors was the symbol of the raven.
The one we've been looking for.
That symbol goes back to the ancient lab and the project started by the gnomes all those years ago. That's older than it was older than this life that I experienced.
And that's where you found the key?
No. But that's where I first found the keyhole to open the door. The sword was actually used to open some sort of lock. I don't know if it was arcane or if it was mechanical or some combination thereof. It took me years to find the sword, the broken sword. And finding it is what cost me the relationship with my son. It was while I was out searching for this that my wife grew sick and died when I wasn't there.
You seem so much more human now, or more like a person and less machine. This experience seemed to have a profound effect on you. I don't know if it's good or bad.
I don't know. Here's one thing that I learned, though. That's to always climb higher. She was so brave and fearless. I think you would have liked her. She was mischievous like you can be.
I don't ever do anything. Sounds like she was a wonderful person. I wish I could have met her. Wish I could have been there and experienced things with you. What do you think caused these memories to occur?
I don't know. I don't know what happened to my old body. Perhaps something in that process triggered this to happen, or some second soul transference. I couldn't tell you.
All I know is you still inhabited this new body and you still had that damn statue in your hands.
Yes, that is quite curious. What does that mean?
I don't know. When I appeared, that's how you were. I just knew what body you were in. I didn't know. I mean, it looks different, but I knew it was you. You and I have a bond that, well, I'm hoping is unbreakable.
That was one of the things that I kept wondering every time I would flash forward and experience some new event, was what was happening to you. When it became clear that this was leading up to our awakening and the lab, and there was never any mention of you in any of this.
Where'd I come from then?
I was hoping you would know.
I just know that we're connected. I awakened when you awakened. Or somewhere around there. I don't really have a good concept of time anyway.
My concept of time is taking a serious beating, I fear.
You've experienced your own mortality. That would be something.
Multiple times. I wasn't sure if it was just me trapped in somebody else's body, or if I was actually the person that I was experiencing, but with some sort of extra insight, or frankly at the beginning I wasn't sure if it was after or before the events that we've experienced together. It wasn't until we found the sword, frankly, or the ancient lab at least, when her and I discovered it, that I realized that I was looking at something in the past. This whole thing has shaken me. Should we see what else is here?
There's a hallway to the south. I'm going to view it quick.
Okay.
You look to the hallway that goes to the south. It is nearly 100 feet long before it turns to the east. However, 25 feet south of you, on the west wall, looks like the wall's kind of cracked open.
Where, does it go somewhere?
You're standing at the entrance of your room and you're looking down this 100-foot hallway. About 25 feet down, there's like it's a door, but it's a part of the wall. It's just cracked open.
Is there any other doorways or?
At the end of the hall, it basically then turns left.
Okay, I will go up to the the broken part. Is there like a...
Well, it's not broken. When you get up to it, you realize it's a secret door, just ajar. It's open and not been closed. And you're looking at it and you go, I would probably not notice. I could walk right, if this door was closed, I would walk right past it and not realize there was a door here. The other thing you've noticed is as you're going south, you start getting kind of this arid, rancid smell, like if you had nostrils, they'd be burning a little bit. You're feeling a little uncomfortable the further south you go.
I will check out the secret door first.
You open it up. Within a vast, neglected chamber spanning 25 by 35 feet, the echoes of centuries past resonate through a disordered scene frozen in time. Tattered remnants of what once was a room serves as a amalgamation of a bedroom, office, and living area. Abandoned for hundreds of years, rotting fabrics drape over long-forgotten furniture, and their skeletal frames collapsed under the weight of neglect, shrouding the room in a forlorn, decaying beauty. So on the northern side, there's like a couch and a chair, and they're kind of collapsed. There's a brass tub that's quite, kind of tainted in one corner with a sink. In front of you, there's a table that's collapsed with some chairs that are falling apart. There's a big king-size bed that, again, is collapsed in itself, and there's like mold and mildew covering all of the cloth. And there's a bookcase covering the wall. On the east side, the southeast side of the room. There's a rotten carpet. You're not sure between the fuzz and the mold how much is carpet and how much is anything else. It's very kind of dank in here. So that's the other thing you've now noticed, that the further south you've gone, it's gotten kind of more humid. It's part of the uncomfortableness.
Can I go up to the bookcase and see if there's anything worth seeing?
Looks like the majority of the books are in very poor condition. There's like none of the labels are really legible. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
15.
You dig through. Takes you probably about half an hour. Most of the books, as you pick them, they just kind of fall into pieces. You do find remnants of 3 books that seem to be the most intact out of all the ones here. You can kind of open them. They'll probably need some kind of preservation, but they're in very poor condition. You see a very neat handwriting. Looks like they're a journal, a diary, or something. You don't know what. But it's written in some kind of... It's not a language you recognize, and you suspect probably a cipher of some type. None of the 3 books are whole. I mean, you'll have half a page here and some page there. But it's the only 3 that have any kind of remnants of anything that you potentially could read. If you could read the cipher.
What are the other 2?
All 3 the same thing.
Oh, it's like 3 volumes of something.
In different places.
Uh-huh.
Right. Everything else was just completely destroyed.
Do the books look like they would survive if I took them with me?
If you had something to carry them in.
Can I look around for some sort of sack or something, backpack?
The only thing...
Are there any clothing anywhere?
Well, there's a small dresser. You can...
Okay, I'll go over there. See if there's anything in there.
You'd open it up. Open up the dresser like this because it's hanging one.
A wardrobe.
A wardrobe, sorry.
Is there a coat rack behind
No.
it with secret? Forest?
There is kind of two rotting backpacks in the bottom. What little clothing in there? I mean, it's pretty much in tatters. One of the backpacks has a K on it, and the other backpack has a C on it.
K and C. Is there anything in the backpacks?
Go ahead and give me a poison check.
That's with advantage, right? Advantage against being
You have
poisoned.
an advantage, yes.
Terrible. That's Constitution.
Yeah.
12.
You needed a 10. It's clear that the backpack's in poor condition. Poison has seeped into it. And you look around and you realize that probably all the cloth material in this room has somehow had poison kind of seep into it. You kind of pull it open. There might have been rations and a few other things in there. Some torches. All of it is in very, very poor condition. There's not really anything here, and you kind of it's basically pulling apart as you're kind of picking up the different pieces of things, and you're kind of shifting it around. And underneath the two, there's a whip.
Oh, old Betsy.
It's not whipping good though.
Okay. This looks familiar.
And actually, it feels familiar, but you've never seen it before. There is also the remnants of a shredded short sword next to it.
Kieran, I think I have some idea of where well, I'm not sure I know where we are, but I think this is stuff that belonged to me. This sword, and I'll hold up the other sword. This sword was chewed up by the lock that required the Raven sword. We need to come up with a name to call that because I'm not sure what to call that. But
Now it's the key sword.
the key sword, yes. This is what gave us the idea for the key sword, to look for it. That and the scene that we found on the wall.
Why is there a whip?
I don't know.
I mean, if you always used a short sword, why would you have a whip?
Did I ever see her use a whip?
She did admonish you several times that you should find a new weapon because you sucked at swords.
Yeah. She always said I was too slow with the sword. I was always better with the bow. She was sort of I was the brains, she was the brawn.
Is that what you said, or is that what she said?
That's what she said.
Okay, because you said it, I wouldn't be surprised if she smacked you.
She probably did.
Sounds like you have a lot of fond
She
memories
was-
of her.
She was the beauty as well. I will take both of the items if I can.
The,
The backpacks look like I can actually use them.
I mean, you kind of picked them up and they kind of shredded at the same time. They're between the humidity and the embedded poison and everything else, they're just destroyed. I mean, they were ripping as you were trying to pick up the pieces. And so you were kind of like... So they're no longer backpacks. They're now shredded pieces of leather on the floor.
I would like to come back for some of these things, but I think we might have to leave them behind for now. I will take just the whip.
And the broken short sword? Or the shredded short sword?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to leave that. And specifically, I'm also going to leave the books. So I don't think I can carry them. I'm going to set them in the wardrobe. For now. Maybe we can find a usable way to carry this stuff. Can I look around through any of the other things in the room, see if there's any other thing that might be of value?
It could be anything of value. It's difficult to say what might have been the value, but due to just the conditions of everything, I mean, some of the cloth on the bed might be useful, but if it's just like the backpack, it's going to be, you're not going to want to carry it around. So.
Yeah. Is there any things on the walls? Any sort of
there's a couple. There's broken pictures that fell off the wall, but again, everything is rotted. I mean, nothing. I mean, the only thing legible was parts of those 3 books. Everything else is in such poor condition. Something has happened here that has contaminated everything and is causing it to be destroyed.
I'm actually going to pick the books back up and bring this with me too.
Okay.
And then I will leave the secret room.
As you head further south, you go around the...
Do I see any way, like, can I look at the door mechanism and see, oh, this opened because, I pushed up here or something like that, and would I be able to use that?
So give me an investigation.
Look for similar spots.
Since it's open, I'll let you give me...
Natural 20, so that's a 23.
As you're fiddling around at waist level, you find a spot that opens. There's a vertical slot in it. Looks kind of familiar.
Go back and get that sword and see if that sword fits in that slot.
It's the one you have is so what little bit of it's left, it does, but it doesn't. Nothing seems to happen.
It's not a key. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I will keep an eye out for any other similar slots, but I will make my way down the hall.
Get to the end of the hall, and as you approach the end of the hall, the aridness of the air, the kind of metallic taste in your mouth is only getting stronger. Like you're getting closer to some source of poisons. And as you approach the corner, you kind of feel it before you hear it. It's like the ground is vibrating gently. As you approach the corner, you kind of hear a hum and small crackles behind the wall on the south side, just after you make your turn. And you can feel, feel a regular core, or it's kind of stone. That one's a little warm. There's like a warm spot. And having looked for it, you can kind of poke around and you find a slot on the wall.
Does the sword that I have do anything for that one?
And when you're down there, you've got about another 100-foot hallway that seems to go to some kind of dead end. But about 25 feet away from you, it opens up and the corridor continues. You don't know how wide it opens or anything. You just know it opens at some point. And that's heading straight east.
Do I hear anything besides the... You said there's a hum behind the wall?
You can put your head against it and you kind of listen more closely, and there's like a loud... The closer you get, kind of more of a hum, the occasional kind of crackling noise.
Is that coming from this open area?
No. It's from behind the wall.
Behind the wall, yeah.
What did you find?
I found another keyhole, but I think it requires the key sword.
Where'd you leave it?
It was on me with the rest of my stuff.
You're kind of naked, I guess.
Yeah.
Although I guess, can you really be naked? Is there such a thing for you? Is there nakedness with that body? Do you feel any shame?
No.
Then it's probably not real nakedness.
I always sort of felt a sense of a need to hide. But it's not nakedness. I may want to come back here if I can find that sword again.
Looks like there might be many things here.
I will keep making my way down the hallway stealthily.
Give me a stealth roll. I think it's currently at advantage.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Is it, as long as I have this, is it at advantage?
I think it says so on your character sheet, doesn't it? And actually you have advantage on perception rolls right now, too.
Is that the one that has perception rolls?
And with the statue, you have advantage on arcana rolls. If you look.
Yeah, I was... And adds 5 to their passive perception. Oh, which I see you did add. Okay.
Magic items are great.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try to remember that. So that one, the Rune of Stealth, I have control over when that breaks, because it's when I use up those last 5 charges.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a 19 plus 3. Oh, I see. It just says advantage here. It's
Right.
simpler.
See?
Yeah.
You're moving pretty quietly. A flickering ethereal light emanates from ancient sconces that line the corridor, fueled by long dead fires. The air is heavy with the scent of damp earth and decay, carrying with it the whispers of long-forgotten experiments and the distant echoes of alchemical incantations. You tread carefully, for the stone floor is uneven and the passage feels like a journey into the very depths of history. There's a pervasive, unsettling metallic tang to the air, almost like the scent of blood or iron. It clings to you don't have nostrils, making each breath taste slightly bitter, as if you've been inhaling the aftermath of a chemical reaction. The room's heavy air is strangely stale, as if it's been trapped in the vacuum for too long. It lacks the freshness of oxygen, making you feel like you're breathing in an environment devoid of life. Amidst the metallic bitterness, there's a faint, sickly sweet undertone. It's an unsettling aroma that makes your stomach churn, if you had a stomach, as if it's warning you of imminent danger. There's also a subtle, almost imperceptible scent of decay, like the slow rotting of something hidden in the shadows. As a reminder of the invisible menace lurking. Give me another poison check.
$24.
Good. This time you need a 17. Well, actually, yeah, so because you're resistant, you take no damage if you save, and half damage if you fail. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
I only have advantage against being poisoned. It doesn't say anything about...
You're resistant too, aren't you?
I'm resistant to poison.
Right.
Yeah.
So you save, so you take no damage. If you fail, you take half damage.
I thought it was just whatever damage I took half of it. I don't necessarily know that we have...
Let's check.
If you've done that. If you save thing.
Let's do a quick confirmation.
I mean, if you want to do it that way, it's fine. It might be a little bit of a buff, but...
Well, see, normally you would take half damage if you saved. So resistance gives you half damage.
So it'd be quarter damage if you save.
I don't know. Let's see.
I think it just depends on the whatever the trap or the effect is.
So quarter damage. So you still take damage, but it'll be quarter damage. Let's drop this dice. Let's see, 15, 21, 23. So quarter, that would be 5 points off your shield. The shield would have had the full 100.
Right.
So now it has 95.
But I can use... Poison normally works for absorb elements, doesn't it? Or is it acid?
I don't know. Look it up. But I think the absorb elements would take place before your resistance.
It doesn't list poison. It's just acid, cold, fire, lightning, and thunder.
Alright. So your shield takes 5 points. And it slowly starts degrading. You get to the end of the hall. There's nothing in this. It's a little 15 by 20 room. Well, alcove area. There's nothing really in it. The floor is getting kind of greener, as are the walls with moss and things growing on, sickly looking things. You get to the end of the hall, and it looks like there's some kind of doorway that you can open. There's no way to see on the other side.
Does it look like trapped at all?
You can do an investigation to see if it's trapped. Sure.
21.
It does not appear to be trapped.
I will slowly open it then.
As you open the door, opens into, well, you can see a huge cavern. It's like kind of a misty green kind of floating everywhere. You can see about 25 feet in front of you. It's like you're like on an upper level of the cavern. There's like a little cliff thing in front of you. And there's a statue 15 feet in front of you. staring out overwards. You kind of look around.
So I'm looking at the back of the statue?
Yeah, look in the back of the statue. Now, it's somewhat dark in here, but you have 120 feet of dark vision?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like dim light everywhere here. You can see some flickering light. So you came through, you see the statue right there. There's a cliff. Over there, maybe some 80 feet away, there's some like flickering lights. It's hard to see what it is. You step out a little further. You can see the statue, another statue right here. You can see another statue about 40 feet there, another 40 feet there. All four of these are on this side of the cliff, and then there's the cliff goes down. Looking forward, again over 100 feet away, you can kind of see another cliff going down. And you can see looks like moving liquid there. And you can look over here, and again about another 100 feet, there's another small cliff that kind of goes up, and then there's another like little alcove in a corridor leading away. Give me a history check. Okay.
Does this look familiar at all to me?
That might have been the cliff you slid down.
That's what I was
One
wondering.
right in front of you.
It's the river.
Except it's no longer blue.
What is on the other side of the door? What does it look like?
It's like a little shelf. There's like a little shelf.
No, the door itself.
Oh,
Does it look like a door on the other side?
no! It is an exact. When the door closes, you can't see it. You won't know it was ever there.
Could I walk up and find the key slot?
As soon as you step out, the door shuts behind you.
Right, but is there like a key slot?
There is. You hear kind of a little giggling, like a teen girl giggling over there, but you really can't see very well where the flickering lights are.
Is that on the... Does it look like it's on the same side that I could get to that area?
So,
Or is it like across it?
you're on this big shelf right here.
Okay.
It goes down 20 feet. And then about 100 feet over there, it goes up again. About 100 feet straight ahead of you, it goes down to whatever that river is. Over on this side, 20 feet below you, there's some kind of glowing lights where the giggling's coming from. Over here, you can kind of see a passageway going to the north,
Okay.
and that's all you can really see.
What are the statues?
The statues. There is a female human wearing a simple dress carrying two halves of a broken staff. There is another human wearing a long flowing robes carrying a unicorn-headed staff. There is another human with long wild hair wearing flowing robes. And the last one is a drow wearing elegant robes with hair that comes down to her ankles.
So if this looks familiar to me, these statues were not here the last time I was here.
That's an astute observation.
I'd like to try and peek around the corner and see if I can see what the noise and lights are coming from.
Well, you'd have to move closer to that side of the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, you move over to the I'm going to move quick. Go ahead and give me another stealth roll. What's her perception? Oh my. What did you roll?
19.
I rolled a natural 1 plus 17. 18.
Wow. Okay. This is a very perceptive person.
So you crawl to the edge over there and you're looking over and you see like balls kind of glowing and floating around. There's like 5 or 6 of them. And you see what looks like a teen girl sitting on a pile of pillows that are sitting on top of a giant pile of gold.
Do these balls of light look like Kieran?
No. They're like spheres of something. You can't really. I mean, there's shadows and stuff. It's dim light, so you can't really tell. They look like they're solid objects.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I should have full bright because of devil sight.
Because of what?
Devil sight.
Oh, so it's full vision.
Yeah.
So they look like they're glass balls, all about that big. And there's like 5 or 6 of them. They're kind of floating, and the teen girl is kind of leaning back in the pillows and kind of pointing at one and giggling, and then looking at another one. And
does the teen girl look like a person? Like a
looks like a,
not like translucent or anything like that?
Yeah, looks like an elf. The green is everywhere, right? I mean, so there's some obscuring of vision anyway, just from the kind of the green mist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear there's just poison everywhere, and the mist is poison, and all of this is poison. And you can kind of see the ground itself is very green. And go ahead and give me a perception roll.
I'm really good right now. Dirty 20.
Pause. And you're looking at the ground in the big cavern. And you realize what you thought was kind of tufts of dirt or things are footprints. Footprints that are 10 feet wide. That are kind of clawed feet. Several of them kind of moving around the room.
Like, I'm seeing them. No.
They're in the dirt.
Yeah.
You didn't really notice them before, but now that you're looking at them like something gargantuan was walking in this room. Like, we're talking of a size that might fill half the room.
I will back away.
Okay.
Now, no one in the town or in the story has told us about the big green dragon, right? That's just your...
That's not true. You received a map that said something.
Big ass dragon. Is it what it says? Big fucking dragon. Yeah. I will. I wanted to write down those statues again.
There were 4 of them. There was a human wearing a simple dress carrying 2 halves of a broken staff.
What else? Okay.
A human wearing a long flowing robe carrying a unicorn-headed staff. A human with long, wild hair wearing flowing robes. And the last one was a drow wearing elegant robes with hair that comes down to her ankles.
And hair to her ankles. Do these look like statues?
Yeah.
Or like they were carved?
Yeah, and since you had clear vision, actually on the other shelf there's 2 statues on the other shelf as well.
Okay. The other shelf that was the other way.
Right, so you're on your shelf, your 20-foot shelf, there's a 10-foot shelf over there, and there's 2 statues on it, but they're too far away to see any details.
Which direction are they facing?
They're all facing into the cavern. All 6 of the statues that you can see.
Does it appear to be any sort of pattern with how they're placed?
They're all just going to be... They're all in different kind of positions, but they're all kind of facing inside. There's no particular...
But like they're not like in a square or
No,
some
no,
sort
no,
of layout. Do they look like they're all like mid-pose? Or like they're
Let's see, hold on.
clearly statues versus...
No, they're pretty
We've
cool.
encountered a very lifelike statue
Yes.
previously. Would they look like that statue?
Did I not get it? It's too bright.
Is this the part that you might need to turn the thing on for? Trying to keep this all straight in my mind, but...
You can see more than you're supposed to, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is where you woke up.
Okay.
There's the bedroom you were in. There was a little alcove. Here's where you came out. There were 4 statues. You're 20 feet up. That's where the glowing lights were. You can see 2 statues over there.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, and 2 giant footprints.
No, they're not 2 giant footprints. There's footprints all over.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I thought that was like...
No. Those are hills.
Okay.
And then these are stalagmites and stalactites.
And then I can see a drop off, and then there's presumably... a
But it's
river.
not blue anymore.
Right.
When you were here, and there's the northern passageway right there. So there's that way going south, and this way going north. And that's how you guys. Last time you guys had there was a shelf along here that you walked across to go through here, and that's how you guys got in here last time. Was this way.
But I don't remember getting out of here because it stopped when I was sliding down the hill.
Yes. When you started, you guys started in this room here. That's where the vignette started.
Uh-huh.
And then the vignette ended with you sliding down this right here. Again, there's a lot more on here. I didn't prep it for a battle map, but
Yeah, that's fine. I'll pretend I don't see half of it.
so over here's the pillows and several glowing lights, with the teen girl sitting on top of the pillow, sitting on top of the giant piles of gold.
I would like to...
Where's your mini? It says put you on the map. Am I the right size? Almost. Problem is, let's see.
Yeah, that's close enough. That's good.
You were there and you looked over and you saw that. and you crawl back over here.
I would like to crawl around the side and see if I can get over to here without being seen.
You'll have to make another stealth roll to come down here.
Not as good. That is 16.
Just move yourself. So that's a boulder. You can't go through that.
That's a pillar.
That's a pillar. That one you can kind of scoot by a little bit, but it's double movement.
Yeah, I'm probably trying to squeeze through there, and then
So just do one movement at a time, right? So we'll call that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're stuck, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or
sure.
That's 2 movements. So you can get over there. You hear a girl's voice on the other side. Who is sneaking in my cavern?
Where am I hearing it from? From over there?
Mm-hmm. 19, 20!
I will walk towards them. And look as non-threatening as possible.
Do I have a little girl or teen girl something in there?
You might have like a little girl, but there's like a child and there's like a woman.
I'll just use this one for now.
Okay. I am Isaac.
You're one of those. I thought we had a deal. You stay on your side of the mountain, and I stay on my side of the mountain. What are you doing here?
I woke up in here, not of my own volition.
You woke up where?
Inside the facility,
What facility?
the one that is inside the walls.
You've hidden something inside my lair?
I have not.
Tell you what. Go open the facility door for me.
I don't think I can without the key.
How unfortunate. Where is the doorway?
By the 4 statues.
I think I have one big enough. I'll use this one. This gargantuan green jagged dragon suddenly appears where the girl was crushing pillows. She goes, "That's where my treasure is!" And breathe on you.
Okay. So what happens? Can I try to dodge out of the way, or
You can make a saving throw.
okay?
Wasn't expecting this, but all right. That's fine. I don't know if I have enough die. I'll just take the average damage. I don't know if die 6.
Okay. So saving throw.
Yeah.
Is this?
You have advantage.
Is it because it's poison?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Not great. 13.
You needed a 22. So half of 77
Holy smokes.
is 33. No. 35. 38. Take 38 points of damage. I guess we can roll initiative. I wasn't expecting you to just kind of run out and talk to her. Okay, but all right. Whoa! I'll re-roll that one.
19. What does the red mean?
That's you.
Okay.
Because I don't have one for you right now.
Okay.
And she had a... I kind of like that. You are facing a CR-23 Ancient Green Dragon.
Yes.
What would you like to do? You can go first.
Please, I mean you no harm, nor deceit. I have answered your question honestly. I have just woken up here after experiencing some very strange events.
She moves closer to you. Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw first.
17.
You are frightened for the next moment as she
I
closed
have
in.
the advantage against being frightened.
Give another roll. You need a 19.
Nope.
You are frightened for the next minute, but you can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns.
Okay. What does frightened mean specifically? Does it mean I can't move towards them?
Correct.
Yeah.
But considering it, you also may not want to move, but if you could urinate, you have. She comes up to you. You look a little different than the others.
Who are the others?
You don't know, it doesn't matter. Why were you... Where's the doorway?
I will point to approximately where it is. I can show you.
I don't trust you near my treasure. Don't move. She gives a whistle. Dragon whistle. And well, minis for them, but well, I'll probably go over here. I can use some over here. I need 3 with it. I thought that was too much. And it was only match. That's okay. They're all human, no matter what these look like. Wearing green. Well, I can show you some pictures too now. Let's see. This is the green dragon.
How do you pronounce that name again?
You're right.
Caligula.
Yeah.
Caligula to my Caligula. Claw. The Minotaur.
And these are 3 women that showed up. You know the names.
Correct.
And they come and they go, "Yes, mistress!" Come over here and watch him closely. If he tries to move, kill him. They climb down, they all move within about 15 feet of you, spread out. And they seem to be preparing spells of some sort. She climbs up here and she goes, "Where's the doorway?"
Appeared to be concealed by some sort of...
Where on the wall is the doorway?
To your left.
She picks up the statue. She sets it down over here. I don't see anything. She takes her claw and goes across the rock at about your waist level. It's just rock.
I can show you the key slot if you wish. I am no harm to you.
There's a key slot. Kind of squinting her eyes. What did you say your name was?
Isaac.
Actually, you can't get any closer to her.
Fair enough.
She puts her claw against the wall. Where is it from here?
I will attempt to show her exactly where it is.
Okay, she kind of gets around to it and she goes and just tears up the rock where the keyhole was. Nothing's there.
Well, that is the doorway that I came out of.
And bashes on it repeatedly with her 27 strength. Shattering the rock a good 5 feet in. I don't see anything.
Perhaps if I was to come close, with your permission.
Come over here then.
Has it been long enough for the...
Yeah,
for you?
sure. It's been more than a minute. And you would have gotten a saving throw at the end of each round anyway, but...
Yeah. I will do my best attempt to locate the doorway or the keyhole.
It's gone. If it was there, she's erased it. You have no idea where even the door is at this point. I mean, it was very well hidden. And now with all the damage that she's done, you don't have a clue exactly where it was anymore. Well, where is your door?
It was here somewhere. I honestly cannot tell you exactly where. I did not expect to be in there. Did not expect to find myself in there.
And why did you awaken in my lair?
I was killed.
You don't look very dead. Not that you look very alive.
My previous body was killed. And I woke up in a new body.
You were one of the ones in the valley.
What is the valley?
You were chasing the cultists. I know who you are now. You were traveling with Angelica, Fogo, Fush, Vladimir, and Avery, weren't you?
That is correct.
You're awfully far from where you should be.
I'm aware of that. All I wish is to get back to them. I have had a trying experience.
That is an understatement. What can you give me to let you go?
I have, as you can see, not much on me.
That statue looks awfully nice.
I'm not sure that it would go with you.
Oh, why? Are you unable to let go of it?
Am I able to try and hand it to her?
Sure, as soon as it's 10 feet away. She'll hand it to you, she'll pick it up, and then... Oh, I see, it's one of those things.
As you can see, it does not want to part with me.
Well, it has been interesting watching your trials and tribulations in the valley. You guys are quite some good comic relief. You even cleared out that little rock I dropped on someone. That was pretty funny. The little necromancer man living inside a rock I dropped on top of a dragon.
I think he mentioned that, perhaps.
Oh. Well, your friends seem to be in quite the pickle without you. You know, I can't decide if it's worth more letting you go or just keeping you permanently. If I were to crush that little body of yours, would you wake up again? How many times can I crush these little bodies of yours? It's fascinating. I haven't been able to get my hands on the others. But now that you're here...
Have you seen more like me?
Like you and not like you. Need a deal. They won't come to my forest and I won't go burn down their little encampment.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, probably something best for you to discover later. Sounds like there might be contention there, and I do enjoy some contention.
Today has been quite the day of discovery already.
But I still haven't decided if you're worth keeping alive. Well, I'm not sure if those of your kind are even alive. You weathered my breath fairly well. I'm wondering if you could survive a few more.
I suspect not. I do not wish to be antagonistic.
So what can you offer me? What enjoyment would I have in letting you go?
I think all I have to offer is likely some form of service. I have not much, if anything, in the way of possessions that don't interesting much.
You don't seem to have anything to wear. And he yells at the he goes, Dallas, go fetch some clothing here for our... Are you male or female?
I am neither.
Well, you look more male, and if you were clothed, it'd appear so. It's too bad. If you were a girl, I'd take a better shine to you. Dallas, bring something for our wayward mechanical man to wear. One of them runs off and comes back with a cloak, and she goes, Mistress, he's a bit bigger than us, and none of our clothes will fit, but he can wear this cloak. Oh, that will be fine. Not that he seems to have any modesty anyway. So send you over there. She doesn't seem to be willing to leave this spot. And the woman with a scarred face, she's bald and scarred, like that chemical burns all over her face, kind of scowling and angry at you, and she's going to give you the cloak. Goes, you're lucky she's being nice, or I'll slice you up for lunch later. And hands you the cloak. And she goes, Service you said you would offer me.
That's all I have. This is my future.
Very well. She kind of leans over, hops down over here, picks up a little stone, and lands, and it's this big for you. She goes, here. Attune to this, and we can speak daily. I'll expect updates every day from you. 25 words. And you know I'll be watching. She looks over to her crystal balls as she shrinks back down into a little girl, into a teen girl. She goes, she reaches down, pulls out another crystal ball, and throws it in the air. That one will be you all the time now. Make sure you keep me entertained. I might sometimes ask a question, wondering what's there. Or have you look into something for me. I'm sure you'll be happy to offer this service. Am I correct?
I do not see much alternative.
Excellent! I enjoy meeting a smart being, man, thing, whatever you might be. Now you should leave, otherwise my druids might stew you up, because they don't really like men very much, no matter what form they take. And if you awaken here again, I'm not going to be very happy. Run along while you still can.
How do I get out of here?
Oh, the girls will take you. And they'll kind of have you scrabble up there. Walk you over here. There's a bridge. Walk you in here. You can kind of see where people are camping. There's a big cauldron that's spewing poisonous smoke. And they're all kind of grimacing and looking like they want to chop you up and do something. You walk past here and you can kind of see in there's like a couple giant owl bears in there, much larger than normal. You keep walking through here and you can see the drop over here, and you see there's like a bunch of trees here and there. They don't help you at all. They basically expect you kind of do thing that way. Go. Hopefully you don't run across the undead. There's a necromancer in the area that occasionally sends people in. As you kind of see, there's probably 15, 20 stakes kind of on the ground around, each with like ghoul heads and other kind of undead heads that you don't recognize, just all on spears, on pieces of wood lining the ground. Run along.
Okay, I do.
So you start moving through the forest. East, you don't really know where you are. You're kind of wandering around. You hear the noises and whatnot. And as you're moving, a little hand on your shoulder, and you hear a voice. You're not where you're supposed to be. You shouldn't be here. Hand is ice cold, like just the deep north. You don't know where it's from. Just the voice is like, "Come now, you've made enough trouble. Let's take you home." And mist kind of starts surrounding you. And you disappear from there. And that's where we'll end the session.